Tonight, local organizations are calling on SANDAG to allow the public to weigh in as the agency chooses its next leader. Current CEO Hassan Ikarada announced that he will step down on December 29th. CBS 8's Shannon Handy has more from downtown, where a rally was held before today's SANDAG meeting.
Today was the first SANDAG board meeting since CEO Hassan Ikarada announced his resignation, so community groups took it as an opportunity to make their voices heard, saying they want to be part of the process in finding his replacement.
The selection process must be open and transparent, as it holds a pivotal role in shaping the future of our region.
This morning, a group representing 15 different community organizations gathered outside SANDAG's downtown headquarters, saying they want the agency's next CEO to make the community's needs a priority, especially when it comes to ensuring San Diego continues to grow its network of transportation options.
The simple joy of riding a bike brings a smile. But yes, our streets are scary. We need leaders that understand the value of investing in safe streets and connected trails.
We know what we want. We know what we need. And what we're looking for in a new CEO is to be innovative to make sure that we get those wants and get those needs in a way that does not impact the environment negatively.
SANDAG is the metropolitan planning organization for the county. It has an annual budget of an estimated $1.3 billion, making the CEO's position a powerful one. Since taking over in 2018, Hassan Ikarada has pushed for limited car travel, which gained widespread support amongst environmental groups. But his ideas have also faced backlash, including proposing per-mile fees for drivers and freezing certain freeway projects. His tenure has also been met with controversy, including questions regarding improper spending and poor policies. While Ikarada has not said why he's stepping down, during today's meeting he acknowledged past disagreements, saying it's time to move on.
It's been a very humbling experience for me to serve this region for 5 years. Humbling to work with many of you. Yeah, we don't always agree on things, but we have in mind that we need to deliver for this region. I feel it's the right time to hand over the leadership.
Ikarada's last day is December 29th. As for what the hiring process will look like, SANDAG Chair Nora Vargas has reassured the public it will be transparent and include engaging with the community.
I'm really looking forward to working with our board and community organizations as we create a process together.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Who will be the next leader of SANDAG? KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen tells us environmental groups want a say in the selection.
Hassan Ikarada took over as leader of SANDAG in 2018 and soon ruffled feathers. He made climate change the center of his decision-making on the type of transportation infrastructure the agency would prioritize. Freeway expansions, which increase greenhouse gas emissions, were paused. Ikarada became the darling of progressives and environmentalists. But conservative opposition to his ideas mounted over the past year, leading to Ikarada's announcement in July that he would step down. His supporters gathered outside SANDAG headquarters today, calling on the agency to replace him with someone who shares Ikarada's vision for a less car-dependent San Diego.
Someone who will champion community-led priorities and a long-term sustainability vision. This vision is one that embraces multimodal transportation with options for drivers, public transit riders, cyclists, and walkers alike.
Ikarada will officially resign at the end of the year. County Supervisor Nora Vargas, who chairs the SANDAG board, said she heard Ikarada's supporters.
As we're moving forward with this process, my commitment to them is that I will be in constant communication with all of them to share what that process is and reassure them that we have a strong leadership team that is able to execute the work as we're moving forward.
The next CEO of SANDAG is unlikely to be as brash as Ikarada, but fights over freeway widenings, public transit expansions, and new taxes to pay for those projects will continue. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
A news conference is happening today to address the hiring process surrounding a new SANDAG CEO.
KUSI's Ed Lenderman is live downtown with more details with a big group behind him. Hey, Ed.
Absolutely. They are environmentalists, and we will get to that section of the issues, if you will, in just a moment. Hassan Ikarada, SANDAG's controversial CEO, had a transportation vision for San Diego, and it wasn't about roads. It was about high-speed light rail, a vision that included a mileage tax, and that vision served not only as a lightning rod for the regional transportation plan, it was a lightning rod for the man himself. Scathing criticism coming his way, especially from North County board leaders. He saw the writing on the wall, and Hasan Ekrata is resigning effective the end of December. So whenever Hasan Ekrata got these kinds of criticism, and again, they were scathing, he pointed out, look, my vision is a mandate as well from the state and federal governments over environmental protections. See, in the not too distant future, mandates to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which brings us to these people. They are San Diego 350. They're a local environmental group. Steve Gelb is their co-transportation guy. I know it's Guy, but we're being informal on Friday. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
So, whenever he got this kind of criticism, he said, look, I got to go along with stuff. You would agree at least with what he was doing in terms of his environmental mandates, not necessarily the man himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what he was trying to lead on has been misunderstood. For example, he was not trying to get people to give up their cars. What we have learned is that in the past, when we've spent all our money expanding roads, we've made congestion worse, we've had sprawl development, we've had more pollution and more greenhouse gases. His vision was to create a multimodal model. That is not to take anything away, but to add alternatives that we haven't promoted enough, so that it'll be safe to ride a bicycle, it'll be safe to walk, so that we can have a transit system that will get people to job centers. That will make life better for drivers. That will be less congestion and less pollution.
Which brings us to his replacement, and you would like to have a say in that, i.e. transparency.
That's right. We are very glad that Chair Nora Vargas is committed to transparency, inviting the public to play a role in this, and we intend to work with her on that. It's crucially important for the future of our region that we follow this vision, which, as you mentioned, is mandated. We have no choice. The county is trying to get to net zero carbon emissions by 2045. The state board has told us, Air Resources Board, by 2030 we have to reduce our vehicle miles traveled by 25%. We cannot do that by doing the outmoded plans of the past, where we would say, let's just keep expanding highways and things will get better. But in fact, they get worse.
The same that will be repeated here in 20 minutes. Steve, thank you. We know you're busy. We know we're trying to get set up here. Thanks again for joining us live.
Thank you so much, Ed.
All right, absolutely. So there you are, and I think he said it in a nutshell. We previewed it as best we could in terms of whenever this lightning rod included this scathing criticism, Ekrata would go exactly as Steve did. We're under mandates here. And you don't think 2045 is, oh, no, it's pretty far away. No, it isn't, and you better start planning for it now. So you get the idea. That's, they've moved on us. They're over here now because of the lighting. And we are back to you guys with the lighting that we have. Back to you.
Local environmentalists are now calling on SANDAG to make sure there is plenty of community involvement in the hiring of a new SANDAG CEO. The outgoing CEO, Hasan Ekrata, was heavily criticized by a number of people for his rigid stance on the $163 billion regional transportation plan, but the environmentalists who gathered outside of SANDAG's downtown headquarters applauded him for his stance that much of the plan is being driven by local, state, and federal mandates for reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
We have no choice but to meet this challenge. It is demanded not only by the worsening climate crisis, but by the California Air Resources Board that requires us to make a 25% reduction in vehicle miles traveled by 2030. And it's demanded by the county's plan to become carbon neutral by 2045.
Ekrata's resignation is effective December 29th.